Bookpage, my crinkly, my favorite kind of paper. So it will be a crinkly, gum chewing, page turning, book talk, ASMR. I try to do these every month. I wonder how long I've been doing these every month for. I don't think I've missed a month in like a year. I don't think. I could be way off. Alright, so this is June 2023. Lazy Days, Pride Month, Mary Beth Keane, Summer's Best Books. Dive into the Summer's Best Books. And I just have a few on each page, or a few in each genre that I circled to talk about. But I recommend picking this up at your local library and reading through it, because there's so many in here I would never be able to read the whole thing. I mean, it would take a long time to read the synopsis of every book they recommend. So you can pick this up for free at your local public library in the States. I think all the public libraries get it. But first, let's do some housekeeping. If you are new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you are old here, welcome back, OGs. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, go double check. Make sure that you are subscribed. Hit the like. If you like, leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. What is on your summer reading list? Or are you just not going to read this summer? And if so, cool, then this is just kind of like ramble, you know? Or what book, when you think about summer reading, like what book did you read one summer that just stuck with you? Like, when I think of summer reading, I think of X. I tend to like to read like Beachy or Vacation, or like Whodunit Vacation, like Whodunit Locked Away type, closed, you know, something happened on an island or something like that. But not at all what I'm reading currently, and that's a whole other video, because I've read some decent books lately. Hit the like if you like. Leave a comment already. Hit the like if you like. Click the notification bell. And as always, my tip jars will be linked in the description. No pressure whatsoever, but any tips that come in to help the channel monetarily are very much appreciated. Also, I'm over on Instagram. Same name on Instagram. I don't really post ASMR there. I just kind of post pictures once in a while, but you can say hello. You can message me, request type videos, or request like what you like to see. I mean, if it's within my comfort level, I do take requests. I do custom videos. You can message me on Instagram about that. And then my other channel, Rummentary, RUMMENTARY, is just my nonsense, but in a regular voice. So YouTube, Rummentary, RUMMENTARY, Rummentary. Okay. Like, I did that channel for a little bit and then I abandoned it. Channels are like Neopets. And sometimes I forget to feed my Neopets. But luckily, they're still alive. Unlike my plants. Okay. So Headphone Heroes is what they call their audiobooks, Headphone Heroes. And I circled one called Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. Chinese-Indonesian author Jessie Q. Sutanto, Dial A for Aunties, was her first book. Or her other book, I guess. Serves up a sleuthing Chinese mother and her suspects and Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice from Murderers by Penguin Audio, 10.5 hours. A thoroughly charming murder mystery set in San Francisco's Chinatown. Eunice Wong, a Juilliard-trained Chinese-Canadian voice actor, delivers a repertoire of delicious voices to celebrate the patchwork of cultures and personalities in this thoroughly moving, heartwarming story about finding friendship and creating family. Want to read it? The problem is I will not spend money on books anymore at this point in my life. I used to spend hundreds of dollars a month at Barnes & Noble. Actually, I just did not that long ago, but they were all nonfiction. So I try to rent more to stay within my budget. Oh, I have makeup on my hands. Sorry, guys. And when you're renting, I rent on Libby. I rent ebooks on Libby for my public library. A lot of these new books you have to put on hold. So I'll put it on hold. So we have a feature of Black history and America's Not So Distant Past. 4 books they listed that tell the true stories of Black persistence and progress. And the one I circled is called A Most Tolerant Little Town. Most Tolerant Little Town. Historian Rachel Lewis Martin gives a day-by-day account of the first court-mandated desegregation in America. The book's title is sadly ironic. Shortly after desegregation began in Clinton, Tennessee, a racist intimidation campaign formed, including mob assaults and dynamiting. At the center of Martin's tale are 12 Black students who integrated Clinton High School in 1956, braving the threats and violence. But another interesting faction stands out: the significant number of white judges, National Guard leaders, teachers, football players, and jurors who opposed desegregation but opposed lawlessness even more. Today, the Clinton 12 are honored with statues and a mural. But in her moving conclusion, Martin stresses that de facto segregation is surging across the U.S., and that working for lasting change is as important as ever, by Ann Bartlett. Like, Ann Bartlett wrote that synopsis. Next, we have lifestyle books, and I circled one called, I'm going to mess this word up, the Psilocybin Handbook for Women. These days, you probably know someone who uses THC or microdoses of psychedelics for physical mental health. You know somebody. The psychedelic landscape is shifting rapidly, and thankfully it's getting easier to find evidence-based information on therapeutic uses of cannabinoids and psilocybin. Our most valuable addition to this field is Jennifer Chesek's The Psilocybin Handbook for Women. Chesek answers a slew of questions people assigned female at birth may have about using magic mushrooms, covering safety, bad trips. I've had one. One out of many. Shrooms and parenting. Mushrooms' effects on menstruation, endometriosis, and more. She also writes poignantly about her own guided trip and other women's experiences using mushrooms for conditions such as eating disorders and ADHD, which gives this guide real heart and added richness from people's stories. This is an empowering and enlightening read. One day I will do a video on my use of, can we do that on YouTube? My use of psilocybins. So and THC. So I'm like California sober, because for me, I cannot drink. That's all there is to it. I can't drink. And there's a problem in the recovery community with people just saying I can't drink, but I have no problem with pot. I have no problem with microdosing psilocybins or whatever they're called. And some people can't. I mean, some people take one puff and they're off to the races, and I get that. But you're not everybody. Just like some people can drink and you can't. Or I can't. Okay. I can do some things that some other people can't. Like, not that big of a deal. It's just about people being honest with themselves. Alright. Getting itchy. You can call me itchy. Itchy ASMR. Okay. This is book clubs. And I love tomatoes. They're not even good for your digestive system. They're really hard on your stomach. I don't care. I have a problem with tomatoes. My name is Nat, and I abuse tomatoes on a regular basis. That is me being honest with myself. Okay. A literary feast. 10 tomatoes that changed the world. William Alexander delivers a tasty culinary chronicle in 10 Tomatoes That Changed the World, a history. With authority, humor, and instinct for flavorful anecdotes, Alexander tracks the evolution of a tomato from its first cultivations in the Americas to its first encounter with Europe, via the Spanish in the 1500s, to its current widespread popularity. Along the way, he considers tomato-related innovations, such as the creation of ketchup and the rise of hybrid tomato specimens. Alexander touches on the themes of contemporary farming practices and the food production that will provide great talking points for book clubs. Are we having a tomato shortage? Because I swear to God, for the last 6 months, Target hasn't had tomatoes on my online platform. They will have the first 4 tomatoes I try to buy, if I try to buy beef to steak or Roma or cocktail, they're all gone, and I have to buy cherry tomatoes and slice them little shits up for tomatoes on my tacos. Who does that? What is going on, Target? I've had enough. The least you can do is get some Romas. Even the Vine ones, the expensive ones. Nope. Out of stock. Every single time. And I've grocery shopped on different days. So I'm like, is there a better day I should grocery shop? Do I have to get them the day they come in? Or are you guys just not selling tomatoes anymore? There's one about coffee called Uncommon Grounds by Mark Pendergast. Delves into the fascinating past of the controversial crop. Millions of people around the world rely on coffee industry for their livelihoods, and Pendergast takes stock of how the little bean has shaped international commerce and politics over the centuries. He brews up plenty of tantalizing coffee lore, assesses the dominance of Starbucks, and explores the worlds of coffee snobs and their fair trade advocates, global economics, and the centrality of coffee to our daily lives make for rich discussion topics. So they're saying that these would be good book club picks. I had a book club on Facebook for a while. I don't think anybody in my book club would be interested. I would, but I don't think I could find enough like-minded people to read a book about tomatoes or a book about coffee. Okay, now we have romance. I hate romance. Ew, romance. Ick. But I did circle one for those of you that like romance. The True Love Experiment. This one sounded kind of interesting. Christy Ridgway wrote the synopsis for this. But the book is by Christina Lauren. Romance blooms on reality TV in Christina Lauren's The True Love Experiment. Celebrated romance author Felicity Fizzy Chen is struggling with writer's block, worrying about whether she'll ever find love, and going through a sexual drought. When she receives an offer to star in the titular dating show, she agrees, hoping to use the program to present her work in a positive light. Producer Connor Prince usually makes short nature docuseries, but bows to pressure to make something more profitable. Hugh, Fizzy, and Connor are trying to ignore their attraction. He cast 8 other guys for her to date. After all, Fizzy is funny and fast-talking, while Connor is half-Brit's single dad whose stayed aside is overcome by Fizzy's insistence that they prioritize joy. A delicious, drawn-out, happy ending caps this delightful, heartwarming, and sex-positive story. So, I mean, kind of interesting as far as romance goes. There's like a little section over here that says when some stuff is coming out. A lot of it looks like historical type romance, which I could not do. Okay. Whodunits. Whodunits, my favorite genre. One of my favorite genres. Beware the Woman, a novel by Megan Abbott. This whole page is by Bruce Tierney. Megan Abbott is one of the most skilled architects of suspense alive and has won or been a finalist for just about every major crime fiction award. Her latest thriller, Beware the Woman, finds her in top form once again. As the book opens, newlyweds Jed and JC, oh how cute, Jed and JC, discovered that they are soon to become parents. They plan a holiday in Michigan's Upper Peninsula to visit Jed's kind and charismatic father, Dr. Ash, who lives in a luxurious cabin deep in the woods. As experienced readers of similar books will know, going to visit reclusive relatives in remote forests is like opening an attic door in a horror movie. Guaranteed drama. The Last Drop of Hemlock, which is historical, and I tend to not read historical, but I'm reading it historical right now, so maybe I am opening that door. I don't know. And this is by Catherine Shellman, set in Prohibition area, New York City. I love Prohibition era. Boardwalk Empire, like Peaky Blinders. I don't know. That's one decade or that's one era in time that I do like to read about. Vivian is a seamstress and delivery girl by day, but a waitress at a speakeasy by night, doing the Charleston with lonely men in return for drinks. Said speakeasy is the Nightingale and is decidedly illegal and only exists as a result of liberally greased palms. Thus, an element of criminal activity is never far from the forefront. This time out, Vivian uses her connections to investigate a death that was initially ruled a sewer slide. And then The Pigeon by David Gordon. Bouncer does not begin to encompass Joe's duties. He serves as a sheriff of sorts for the criminal underworld of New York City, a mediator for organizations not exactly noted for solving disputes within the confines of the legal system. His longtime pal Gio sets him up with what should be an easy gig: recover a gangster's stolen racing pigeon. The bird's worth is in the neighborhood of $1 million. So it's like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, right? And Joe will collect a 5% reward upon recovery. Under normal circumstances, it would be a simple B&E, stuff the bird into a paper bag and exit stage left, but it turns out the pricey apartment building the bird is being kept in has one of the most sophisticated security systems this side of Fort Knox. I want to read all those. They sound amazing. Our top summer reading selections. And I circled Wannabe: Reckonings with the Pop Culture That Shapes Me by Aisha Harris, co-host of NPR's Pop Culture Happy Hour. Aisha Harris is the pop culture maven millennials have been waiting for. In its collection of essays, Harris brings a refined journalistic scrutiny to subjective nostalgia, which makes Wannabe a truly magical summer read. page to this book called The Half Moon by Mary Beth Keane. And she is the author of Ask Again Yes, which I have not read, but I heard it was good. The Half Moon, named for the towny bar at the Naval Center. The wonderfully unpretentious, gifted writer explains this by phone from Bozeman, Montana, where she's researching her next novel. In the novel, Malcolm Gaffart has worked at the Half Moon for years, and now he finally owns the place, with dreams to update and transform it. Unfortunately, creditors are at his heels. His marriage is on the rocks, and in the midst of a blizzard, a patron goes missing, setting the stage for plenty of riveting internal and external drama. So it's a family drama. The last family drama I read was really good, and it was kind of like a bar setting too. I want to say it was Boston, because I think it was Boston Irish. We Are the Brents. I think that was what it was called. We Are the Brents. It was really good. I cannot remember. Was it the Brents? And then there's some major releases in June over here. I just saw that one. Not really in the mood for a memoir right now, but it is Page Boy by Elliot Page, her first memoir. Be Mine, Richard Ford, The Spectacular by Fiona Davis. That's about the history of New York City through its most fascinating buildings. June 20th, The Only One Left, Riley Sager. I don't read Riley Sager because they usually have like a paranormal element, right? Well, I think the one I read did, and I don't do that. It's just not my thing. This is Celebrate Pride with 8 Queer Stories. I know I circled one on here. Let's read about Horse Barbie. This is Horse Barbie. Horse Barbie. When Gina Roquero was a child in the Philippines, the country's popular transgender beauty pageants drew her in, first as a viewer and then a competitor. Roquero dominated pageants throughout the late 1990s alongside a sisterhood of supported trans beauty queens. She begins to take off-label estrogen to DIY her own medical transition. A move as a teenager to San Francisco enabled a social transition and subsequently a medical transition under a doctor's care. So that is Horse Barbie. Alright, you guys, my time is up. There were a few more books in here I wanted to talk about, but my child has woke up. He has risen. And he's already in a shit mood, I can tell. So I'm going to go get him some breakfast and change his diaper. If you're still watching, thank you for watching.